cards?
Nobody wants to
Just start.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon. This is the Muleshoe Art Association, and we had a wonderful show. We had 59 entries in our art show, not counting our student exhibits on the outside. And to each and every one of you, it just takes a lot of courage to even enter a show. So really, you're all winners just by entering a show, because you're putting yourself out there, and that takes a lot of courage. I just want y'all to know that. And so without further ado, we will start with the oils. Jackie Hinderliter, first place. Right. Yay. Second place in oils, Pauline Clark. Third place in oils is Scott Blazek, and he's not here.
Yes.
Now we'll move on to watercolor. First place was Pat Burns, and also best in show, and he is not present. Also, this particular piece has also been selected in a juried art show. Do you know which art show?
I don't know. It's in Albuquerque.
In Albuquerque.
I don't know
So
the name
this painting is leaving us to go still get to another art show. Second place watercolor is Joy Simon. Be back in the back. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Third place in watercolor is Ann Johnson. We're going to move on to miscellaneous. In first place in miscellaneous is John Birdsong, and he's not here. Second place in miscellaneous is Melba Bratcher. If you haven't seen her woodpecker, it is beautiful. Okay. Third place in miscellaneous is Tina Bradley.
She's
Not here. Okay. First place in pastel, Moa. Second place in pastel is Sandra Chancey. Now we'll move on to photography. First place in photography is David Wesley. Congratulations. Second place in photography is Heather Hancock. And third place in photography is Alice Liles. And in our miniature category is Lois Snyder, was first place. And best of show, as mentioned earlier, is Pat Burns. And we want to say a very special thanks to Glenda for being
Marilyn.
Marilyn. Gosh,
That's
I did
okay.
it.
That's fine.
You answer
That's
by
fine.
any
That's
name.
fine.
Marilyn, for being our judge, and she did an excellent job. And we would like you to talk about yourself a little, and she will be glad to give you any critique.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly not a professional. This is my first art judging opportunity, but I want to thank you all. Thank Alice for calling and inviting me, and I just enjoyed it so much. You are talented, and to see the diversity of all of your work is very inspiring and very just flat out enjoyable for me. I appreciate getting this opportunity. My background in art is I've taken some art lessons. I don't know if many of you remember Elizabeth Black. She was my first art teacher here when I was little. And then I took some from Rita White. And then I moved on in college. I studied some under Dr. Emilio Caballero at WT, and went on and had some art training in Austin at UT, and some at Tech in various mediums. So I've tried some of all of these mediums except for photography, and I'm not, and nor am I going to tackle photography. But I've done some of this enough to know how hard it is, and I can appreciate it. That's about where my background is. I went on to get a degree in interior design, so that was mainly where my work experience was. But I have always had a love of art. I'll talk just a minute about the selections that I made. In this category, watercolor, this is just outstanding. This watercolor over here, I just love the depth and the emotion and the color and the fluidity. It really is just a beautiful, beautiful piece. And I love this. I love this second place one. There again, it's just, I don't know if that's a wave. I told Alice it kind of looked like a water haboob to me. I don't know what it is. It's just real free, and colors are just lovely, and all the different, techniques with water and dry and wet and all. It's just gorgeous. I just love it. And the framing on this one I thought was especially beautiful, gorgeous piece. And this one, I just love this precious little thing. I presume it's a little Indian girl, a little full face. Is it a boy? Little full face child. But it's got so much expression in the face. And Alice and I were talking, this particular one, you really do need to get right up to it to see the definition and the sweetness in the little face and the color, and that, it really spoke to me. I love that. So subtle in all the transition colors, and I think if it were placed somewhere where it had some really great lighting on it, it would just really pop out, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. And so is the one below it, the second place. There again, I think, if there was some really great lighting on it, the colors are just so soft and very smooth technique in getting the lights and darks, and it's a beautiful piece also. And then the third place, this person, the detail work on this is just unbelievable. When you get up close, there's just so much detail, and the expression on all the faces and everything. It's very, very unusual, but certainly worthy of recognition. And then that's coming across here, it just captured a real, I think, the presentation, just really nice capture of that particular day and moment, and it's unusual. It's unusual composition, and I just really did like it. The second place winner, the peacock, it's just outstanding in the color, and with the shadow, you can kind of tell where the sun is, and the shadow and the background being blurred like that just makes it pop that much more, and I thought that was really outstanding. And then the third place winner, love the composition in this one with the wire coming across, and it's not, it's all off center, and with the blur and then the up close, and just the random wildflowers up close. Beautiful, beautiful, love that. And then this category in the mixed, little girl and the definition and all the detail work in her hair and her clothing, and the shadow and even the concrete, the detail and everything in the concrete. It's just really, it's outstanding. Very, very beautiful piece. And this is just really unbelievable to think that all of this was, carved, the bird and all the, I mean, it's the detail on this, the wings, and is that all one piece of wood?
No.
No, it's several pieces of, I mean, the bird, is the bird all one piece of wood?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, the bird is, well, that's just unbelievable. The beak, the way it is on the feathers and the tail. It's a beautiful piece, very interesting. And then the third place winner, this looks like to me, a combination of pastel and, I don't know, maybe some charcoal maybe or whatever, but it's just very subtle and soothing and a very interesting piece with a limited color palette that it turned out very nicely, and I really liked it. And then in the pastel section, this first place winner is really spoke to me. It's a very, I since visited with Martha when I found out that she painted it, and it was an old cellar that was on some property that was in their family in close to Abilene,
Yeah,
somewhere.
Girard,
Is that what
Texas.
it is? In Girard, Texas. And of course it was all a little cement and wood falling apart and all that, and she chose this vibrant color palette to do it in, and it's just phenomenal in the detail that she got with the pastel and the different techniques that she used, short strokes and long and wide and smooth, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. And then the second place, I had a lot of trouble deciding between this one and this one, which would be second. Well, Sandra painted both of them, and so I didn't feel so bad once I found that out, because they're both just beautiful. But I finally decided on this bottom one with the rocks and the river and the little canoe. The depth on it is just outstanding, and you can just see it. You can see it and you can feel it, and so it's an outstanding piece. So they're all so good. It was a very fun job. This first place one, you've got to, of course, get right up to it to see it, but it's a beautiful wheat growing, and then the grain in the hands, and there again, this one had so much detail in that, and so much depth, and just close up. I thought the composition was interesting, and I really liked that one. And then these two were honorable mention, and this one I believe is watercolor, which it looks almost like a photograph, honestly, but it's a beautiful piece. And this one, I believe the same man that did, or woman, whoever, that did this one back here with the scripture, I think he or she did this that looks like pen and ink, and it's a really nice, very nice pen and ink portrait of someone. But anyway, very nice students, Sandy Chitwood, and I just, it's just amazing to see the diversity and the freedom that the students have, and all of these are just, it's mixed media. They're using watercolor, oil. Some is kind of a real thick paint. I mean, there's lots of different techniques going on here. But the first place in Misc show, really, this wasn't too hard. On this particular one, this eagle drawing, which is mainly, I guess, charcoal and pencil, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's outstanding. That when you get up close to this, which is how you need to really appreciate it, he was able to get such detail, and that eye, I mean, you just feel the piercing look of that eye. It's just, I mean, it's really outstanding. The second place, it's so imaginative and creative, and it's just, it kind of draws you in because it's unusual enough, and the colors, and I just found it very, very interesting. The composition is interesting, and this is a person that's not afraid to think outside the box, and I love that. I love that they're free to do that, and it's a real captivating piece. And then this one, I have no idea what the person that did it, what their intent was, but to me, this one really spoke of a primitive type art. It's kind of a technique that uses thick paint through these flowers and so forth, but it just really had kind of an old primitive look to it, and it just really spoke to me. It's very, very unusual, and I just think all of them are really good. And Sandy's a great art teacher, so I'm not surprised. But they did an excellent job.